We're back for another podcast, and today I have with me Maicol Busilacchi, International Secretary of Fratelli d'Italia, or rather the youth wing of Fratelli Italia, which is named...
Gioventù Nazionale.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
When it comes to politics, there is also, you could say, two types of politics. There is the politics when you are in opposition, and then there is the politics when you are in power. And Fratelli dell'Italia, they won the elections, the last elections, and now you have your leader, Georgia Meloni, being the Prime Minister of Italy. What do you think is the difference from this being in opposition and being in power?
Pretty different. I mean, I started long ago, since the beginning, 11 years ago, and it was tough. It was really tough. I still remember the first electoral campaign when we got 1.97% and we survived with a bunch of deputies in the parliament.
When it comes to the last election, you won pretty much in a landslide. 30%, if I remember correctly, or around 30?
Yeah, I mean, 27.
Mm-hmm. And this Meloni effect, you could say that it was something that a lot of magazines wrote about. That Italy doesn't really have a tradition of having many female leaders. Is this something that there is a lot of focus on, that she is one of the first, if not the first, female leader?
At the beginning, yes. Right now, it's kind of that they forgot about that, because finally they're focusing more on the merit. So they're focusing on the job that she is doing as a president and not as a female president. Of course, we are so proud. But I won't say that I was kind of used to have a female president, because she was the president of my party. She is the president of my party, and she is also the president of the ECR party at the European level. So I really appreciate her since the beginning as a president, as a person that really can change things and loves to do whatever she can to reach the goal in order to create the better future that I was mentioning before.
At the same time, a lot of media and also parts of the political elite in Europe, in the lead up to the election, they were attacking her and your party. Why do you think that there is so much opposition from mainstream media and other politicians against your party?
I believe sometimes change can create some fear inside of the people. She is proving that she can work with all the political forces, and especially also with the people that were criticizing her before. A couple of years ago, when Ursula von der Leyen went in Turkey.
She was not offered a seat.
Exactly. And I do remember that Georgia Meloni, even though they were like in the opposite side, she defended her. And she really wanted to affirm that also the formality and the respect is at the ground of every political action. And so that's what I really appreciate of her.
But here is also, it has to be said that after the election, at least it looks like it, Ursula von der Leyen and Meloni have had a very good relationship. They met quite recently, and they always say that they enjoy each other's company and that they know how to get along. So it seems that it has changed after the election. But also in general, a lot of people were a little bit surprised, because again, the mainstream media had been saying that Meloni is a chance for the Russians, that she won't be strong on Ukraine. But after she came to power, even more military aid has gone to Ukraine than went before. So in Ukraine, she has become a very popular leader, and many people that are not somehow conservative or on the right wing, but are liberals or progressives or even socialists in Western Europe and the US, they have come to appreciate her as a leader for what she has been doing in Ukraine. Is this something that people in Italy are aware of, that her position has slightly changed due to her actions in Ukraine?
Well, I want to say that this position of Italy supporting Ukraine was already taken before the Meloni's government, and I want to recall that she wasn't part of that government, but even though she was one of the first supporting the cause, and so she has taken to it, and she's still supporting the Ukraine side. You touched many topics in the question, because yes, she has been working side by side with Ursula von der Leyen in the past month on many topics, mainly the developing of the Mediterranean area. On the migration topic, we have as Europe this issue to solve. I really appreciate that even though they were distant before, kind of distant, they found a way to stick together, and they probably went 2 or 3 times in Tunisia in the past month, but also von der Leyen went also to Italy during a flooding that we had in the central Italy, and she was closer than ever to Italy. That's a funny thing, because when partner of like political partner of our party were at the government, she probably never came to Italy. And now with this kind of difference going on, there is even a better understanding of their roles and duties, and I would say also goals.
You touched upon migration here, and this is another thing that some people are criticizing the Meloni government for, not on the side of the mainstream, but rather people on the right who claimed that more could have been done more quickly. This summer there have been quite large numbers of migrants who have arrived by boat to the shores of Italy. And there are those who say that Meloni has not done enough to stop it. What would you say to those critics?
For the very first time, someone is trying to see the macro picture of that. I know that if you do math, only math, of course, we can see that the situation, has changed. It might be even worse than before. You should also consider all the geopolitical situation that it's also getting worse and worse day by day. And of course, in summer, it's with the good weather, this phenomena is like increasing. But I do believe that she is trying to find a structural solution to that. I mentioned before the trips that they had to Tunisia, but she's also managing to have bilateral connections with every single country in the Mediterranean area. That's why I do believe that she will solve this problem. We have seen that the European Council, but also in the European Commission's declarations, they made statements about taking this topic at the EU level. It's a big step, In just 9 months, I know that some people might be more focused on the math, but I would say finally we do have a political government that can see rights of the people that are coming, the rights of the people that are living in Italy and in Europe, and also they are trying to affirm the international law among Europe and the Mediterranean Sea. I just wanted to add something before about Ukraine. We have been supporting the cause since the very beginning, and we are putting money on that as Italy, as European Union. There are critics also on that side. It's more about how we approach to the sanctions, how do we approach to solve the problem. I totally stick to the line of Georgia Meloni. She's doing a great job on that. I gotta say, she replied to some critics because we're like, you're giving just 20 billion or something. I don't know at the moment what was the total amount, but she was saying, yeah, but the people also in Europe are suffering from the sanctions. So don't just look at the money that we can give, but just take a look also at the money that we are like sacrificing in our country. So that's, the macro picture is something that really matters at this moment.